People of Reddit. In America, if I offered a $500,000 reward to return my stolen dogs, like Lady Gaga did, no questions asked, do I have a legal obligation to stay true to that claim, or can I still call the police to pick up the person who has my dogs when he or she returns them to collect the money? Nope. No obligation at all. I'm not sure for America laws, but generally, that's an agreement without free consent. Maybe different terminology is used in your colleges, so basically a theft will not fall under legal contractual protection regulation, and thus invalid. There is a possibility that she will stay true to her word, but the police won't. Dog theft aside, the person shot the dog walker multiple times. I hope the police don't turn a blind eye to that, if they know who did it. The fact she is willing to give the person $500,000 is absolutely disgusting. Dogs are dogs. They would be just as happy with a new owner. Don't give the person who shot someone you know multiple times a duck ton of money and cry about your dogs getting stolen only. I'm not up on this too in depth. Did she say specifically that she would give the dog nappers $500,000 to return them, or just $500,000 to anyone that has info that leads to getting them back to her? Either or both, I believe. You will have to prove that person willfully stole your dog. You might have no questions to ask, but that doesn't mean the police don't. Happy face. You can't stop a police investigation, especially for attempted murder. Everyone here both misreading the question and pretending you would have a written contract. In the US, not all contracts are required to be in writing in order to be enforceable. I'm a lawyer in the US. This, in Virginia, a verbal contract is legally binding. How could you be certain that the person returning your dogs is the one that stole them? The police will find out though. They'll arrest them for probable cause for grand theft, extortion, and attempted murder, and prosecute them if they don't have a good explanation for what happened in this case. I guess you'd have to prove the person or persons bringing your dogs back are also responsible for them being gone in the first place. I would think, even if you saw someone physically make off with your dog, you'd have to be able to prove they were the same person when they brought it back. All speculation on my part. I'm not a cop or lawyer. No, they have to prove you weren't the same person. When you sue someone for breach of contract, you must prove they violated the contract and you deserve payment. A jury decides the rest. Yeah, I wasn't even going to address the financial obligation aspect, because I wouldn't think there would be any way whatsoever to prove you were even the one who promised money for safe return. Nothing signed, no witnesses, etc. You can say whatever you want, but since someone was shot in the process, the police are going to be asking a whole bunch of questions. You have no control over that. Posting a reward is something that can be legally binding. If the terms of the reward are followed, then the person does have standing to sue and has a fair chance of winning. But it has to be an actual offer made directly by the person in question. Reading on Reddit that Lady Gaga offered a reward, or reading an article in the newspaper, would not necessarily make it valid. As for logic, a reason goes, I can get you your dogs back, but that only means I get you your dogs back. Not that I stole them. I could have found them, and for that amount of money I could even tried very hard to find them. You could stay put to your word, or call the police on me. The police most likely would just hold me for a few hours, since there is no crime at all. If you only call the police and never pay me, then nothing will happen. Only you will show yourself to the world as someone that will not hold his promises and shows zero value to his own word. At the end, that damage can never be undone. How messed up is it that she offered $500,000 reward to return the dogs and not to capture the guys who shot her dog walker? I don't know where some of the people in this thread are getting their information, but yes, you are absolutely legally obligated to pay out on rewards you offer to the public. Rewards offers are considered by the court to be firm offers, which means that, unless you revoke the offer ahead of time, once someone fulfills the terms of the offer, you're responsible to pay. Now you can, and absolutely should, include provisions that exclude the guilty party and their accomplices from claiming the reward, but those conditions need to be disclosed in the initial offer, or at the very least the fact that conditions apply needs to be disclosed, but the exact process varies by jurisdiction. Rewards are a special circumstance. We just covered this in my contracts class in law school. If the person returns your dog and knows that the reward was being offered, then you have to uphold your end of the bargain. Once the dog is returned to you, this is called a unilateral contract. You are offering a promise in exchange for an action. Once the person gives you your dog, completes the action, you are bound to uphold your end of the bargain. Give the money you promised. Exceptions: you do not have to pay the reward upon return of the dog if 1. The person returning the dog didn't know that there was a reward being offered before they returned the dog, so they cannot return the dog, find out about the reward, and then ask for the money. Or 2. The person returning the dog has a pre-existing legal duty to do so. For instance, works as a shelter that requires workers to reunite persons with their lost animals before putting them down. If you like this, give this video a big thumbs up for that YouTube algorithm. It really helps a lot. And if you are new to the channel, welcome, and consider subscribing if you enjoy our content.